اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Assalamu alaikum wa taqabbalallahu a'malakum. One thing I see a lot of people doing, which I want to advise you guys to stop, is istighabah, like talking about each other. The reason I want to tell you guys to stop, if you are doing it, I'm not saying all you guys are doing it, but I'm saying that there's a lot of people that do it. I want to tell you guys to stop. That's like one of the biggest sins to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that's one of the most hated things to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What I mean by istighabah is like talking about others, disrespecting people, backbiting. That's what they call it, backbiting. Another thing I want to say, it's to do with istighabah. And if you talk about someone, I guarantee you you're going to regret it in the future over here. And in the hereafter, you're going to regret it. When you're, inshallah, going through the gates of heaven, you're going to regret talking about someone. Because there's a hadith that states you can't go into heaven unless everybody you've talked about has forgiven you. The Prophet once told Imam Ali alayhi salam that if you talk about someone, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will humiliate you in front of everybody. What this holy hadith means is pretty much if you talk about someone, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to humiliate you in front of everyone. It's going to be worse than like when you talked about someone. There's another hadith that states إنه إذا أنت بتحكي على واحد أو إذا أنت بتسمع إنه واحد إنه حكى عليه نفس الشيء. So if somebody is talking about another and if you're listening, it's the same thing. And listening and talking is the same thing. Well, what this means is if you have a friend that's talking about someone, you have to tell him to stop.
You agree?
Yeah, if you hear somebody talking about another, you have to tell them to stop or you're going to get the same punishment as the other person. For example, if that guy that's talking about someone is getting a lot of bad deeds, you're going to be getting the same amount of bad deeds. And if you stop him from talking about the other, you're going to be getting, instead of those bad deeds, they're going to be turned into good deeds. Another thing I want to state is if you talk about someone, even though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the Rahim, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not gonna be the one that's gonna forgive you. You have to go to the person you talked about, ask him for forgiveness. And like I said earlier, if you don't get that forgiveness from the person, there's a hadith that states you will not be able to go into heaven. And at the doors of heaven, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is gonna call down the person you talked about. And you have to beg for forgiveness from that person. And inshallah that person accepts your apology.
What would we should we do? For example, he doesn't forgive us.
I also wanted to say, I said this already earlier, I want to say just if you're talking about someone, make sure you stop talking about someone. Because like, it's going to be awkward if you're going up to someone and saying, oh, I talked about you, sorry for talking about you. And you're going to regret it right now in the future, and you're going to regret it in the hereafter. آخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. And أفلح من صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أحسنت يا سيدي.
Should we do istighfar after backbite?
No.
Should we do istighfar after
صورنا كنا لايف وتكريمات هذا لازم يطلع لايف. شو الاسم عليك الخطيب؟ شو هذا؟ شو انه شو الخطاب؟ قفزه نوعيه لك خطيب السفاره، قفزه نوعيه لك انه يصعد على الله بس واحد يقاطع يضيع كلمه. هو شويه انا شو بدي اياك انه هلا استواء بالنسبه له بيورفل واسع بيورفل مو عبد الحميد المهاجر ولا مثلا وائل. كل موضوع
مستر سيد مستر